It's the second day of the Advent calendar. That would be the Secret Spirits Scotch Whisky Advent Calendar, 6th edition, 2019, day 2. I hope I didn't miss any details on there. I don't know what the whiskey is. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at the label. I don't know. I can only guess by what I smell and what I taste. So I might as well take a little sip of water before I start. And the water has a bit of peat in it. Oh yeah, that's because I used a I used a Ardbeg bottle to put my water in. So it has a little bit of peat. I hope that doesn't affect this too much. Such a slight little bit of peat. It's less peat than you get in a Bunnahabhain 12. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to crack this guy open. I have water. That's a good thing. I have a spoon. That's a good thing. So I'm prepared. Ah. Okay, let's see now. It's got a few little bubbles around the edge. I wonder if this is another high ABV. I'm just wondering. Let's have a look and see what the legs do first before we get into any. There. Should be right there. Should give you an indication. Narrow legs and slow to form. And very slow. I'm looking at one in particular, one droplet here. And these droplets right there. Real slow, real viscous. They're not moving much at all. Wow. This is probably another belter like the one we had yesterday. And that was a 17-year-old Auchentoshan, which was finished. I'm sure it was finished rather than completely matured in Oloroso sherry because it was much too light in color to be Oloroso. It would probably look like a Glendronach 18 if it was in Oloroso for 17 years. And triple distilled. That's what threw me off. I first thought because it didn't seem to, even though it had a high ABV, it didn't have such strong sense to it. I thought maybe it was a blend, but it wasn't. What have we here? Right away I'm getting a citrus fruit. Lemon, orange, somewhere in there. Maybe even grapefruit. A lot of citrus. Oh, I'm getting a maltiness. It's quite malty. Malty and fruity so far. So we've got the citrus and we've got malt. Let's look at the color a little bit. To me, oh, that's a little bit radish. Something about the aroma tells me it's going to be sweet. Maybe it's a port finish. Yes. I'm getting some berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, along with that citrus note. Am I getting vanilla? Am I getting caramel? Maybe a bit, but it's more fruity. More fruity and more berries. I was talking with Mark from the Whiskey Whistle last night. We were doing a quick little, face-to-face Google Hangouts thing. And he told me that I was going to be surprised by the next 2 or 3. Yeah, he had tried 4 of them already, and of course pre-recorded his videos for that purpose. I also pre-record mine, but I'm pre-recording just the day before the morning it goes up. So now it's 5:27 p.m. This will go up in about 10 and a half hours. Because it will, here, when it's 4 a.m., that's when it will be midnight at the international dateline, and that's when December the 2nd will begin. Even though right here, right now, it's only the 30th of November. So there you go. Digging deep here. I'm getting, once again, citrus, lemon, orange, grapefruit, berries, once again, a little bit of maltiness, the other side, maybe a bit of caramel and vanilla, probably from the primary maturation. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's a high ABV. So the high ABV could be throwing me off, and maybe it will have more aromas if I was to add some water. But first I'm going to taste it neat. I'm going to take small sips because I think this is going to be a high ABV once again. Yeah. Intense, strong. Oh. Yeah, I'm just getting alcohol. I'm just getting alcohol burn. I think this one is even higher in ABV than yesterday's Lagavulin. Just guessing. I'm going to put the last little drops from inside this little bottle into the glass. Now I can reuse this for sending samples to people. That's one nice thing about the Advent calendar. You don't have to go out and buy tiny little bottles. Cleanse the palate. Wow. Went through a lot of water on this one so far. And I haven't even put any water into whiskey. All right. Now that I've tasted it, I'm getting piney woods. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's like pine sol cleaning fluid, but there's a hint of, oh, now Once again, that malty note and more caramel and vanilla finally coming in. Uh, Along with the malty note, I'm getting fruits, not so much berries as I was getting earlier. Getting orange. But I think the orange and lemon and grapefruit, for that matter, is fading to something else. It's changing. This whiskey is changing as it's opening up. I'm getting a bit of a chocolate note now. It was not as sweet as I thought it would be, but that's because I think it's such a high ABV that it's not. Intense alcohol. It's tingling on my tongue once again. But now I'm getting more flavor than I was before. I'm getting a little burn as it tickles down my throat. Yes, this is a strong one. I'm going to add some water. I don't know. Let's start with a couple drops. Let's start with a couple drops and see what that does to it. Okay. Okay, that's two drops. Maybe go for a third. Okay. 3 drops. Let's see. That should not change the ABV at all, but it should open the whiskey up a little bit. It should open it up and cause the alcohol molecules to let go of the, what do they call those things? Congeners and proteins and things that make up the aroma. It should break the bonds between the smell and the alcohol. Oh, that's way different now. Well, I'm getting grapefruit and orange. I'm not getting a lot of berries anymore, but it's a lot more malty than it was. The malt just comes up. It's almost bashing the insides of my nose, the maltiness from this one. That would be like and fruity, and color is a little like some kind of wine finish or sherry finish or port finish. Or it's pretty old and it's been in bourbon for a long time. I can't really tell. I can tell an obvious one like a sherry bomb. But you know, for a long time, I was avoiding trying the Balvenie double wood. The double wood, which is aged in bourbon, ex-bourbon casks, and then it's finished or secondary matured in sherry casks. But the sherry casks were not first fill; they were reused sherry casks. So because there was sherry cask involved with the Balvenie double wood, I stayed away from it for the longest time until one day I actually tried it because I didn't like sherry when I first got into Scotch whiskey. I tried a Macallan and hated it, and it took me a long time to learn how to appreciate the sherry. And there are still some Glendronachs that I can't like. The 12 is good, but a lot of the higher the ones that have been in sherry casks longer, they just have so much sherry that you don't taste anything else, and I think that's too bad because I'm a big fan of the distillery character. And if distillery character tastes nothing but wine, what comes out of the still? I want to try an ex-bourbon version of that. Maybe that's why I like the Glendronach peated over a lot of other expressions from them. So who knows what this is? Let's taste it with the water added. Mm. Mm. Oh, that is a beautiful mouthfeel. It's like I wasn't getting that at first with the without the water. I was just getting alcohol on the flavor, and it was harsh. It's still tingling my tongue after the 3 drops because it would not have changed much in the way of oranges and lemons again, grapefruit, citrus. Let's say indistinct citrus, a little bit of all kinds of citrus. Sip of water. I'm taking my time with this because it's still opening up, even though I've been recording for like 17 minutes. Of course, it will show longer on your timer because I'm not counting the intro. I'm only counting this clip. So, my apologies if I go on too long, but I want to do this justice. I don't want to just, take a couple sniffs and belt it down my throat and go, it's a strong whiskey. I'm sure if I let this open up a little more, I'll get a little more out of it. Okay. I get a lot of citrus. I get the lemon and orange on the tip of my tongue like I did before. I'm getting maltiness. It's malty. And it's tingling the sides of my tongue like you wouldn't believe. It's still quite hot. I wonder, maybe this is high ABV and it's a young one. Let's give it a whole spoon now. See what that does to it. I'll be accused of being a bit more like Ralphie. Put a whole spoon in there and see what happens. I don't usually put that much water in my whiskey because most whiskey that I typically drink is 50% alcohol by volume or less, somewhere in that Goldilocks zone between 45 and 50. That's drinking strength for me. 43, okay, there's some whiskeys at 43 that are okay. 40, unless it has a lot of flavor. There are a few whiskeys at 40% that I will actually enjoy. Cragganmore 12, for example. Chivas Regal 18. Oh, that was phenomenal. And it was bottled at 40%. Now, I'm getting less citrus, more woodiness, It's woody. Like this could have been, part of it could have been aged in virgin oak, going by the woody nose. I hope I didn't drown this. It was showing me that it was a strong ABV, so I thought maybe it would take a lot of water. Let's take a look. Okay. Now the legs look a lot more normal. Maybe it's about 48, 50%. I don't know. Let's see. Still malty, but all of those fruity citrus flavors are gone, or they don't come through on the nose anymore. Do I get a bit of berry? Yeah, a little strawberry maybe. Ah, okay, let's taste it now. Hmm. Huh. Once again, a beautiful, slippery mouthfeel. I'm getting some berries, a hint of cherry, and somewhat malty. And it's a little bit astringent now that I've swallowed it. It's not burning my throat anymore, so I've got the ABV down just where I want it. Now on the aftertaste, I get a lot of that citrus, orange and lemon, citrus aftertaste. And the finish is hanging on. Now that I burped, I got a little bit of oak, the same oak that you'd get out of a virgin oak matured whiskey, a virgin oak cask. Ah, this is an interesting little adventure. Of course, it's a kind of whiskey I would never be able to buy anywhere else. I would never be able to buy it in a store or have it sent to me by anyone else because it's probably a single cask. Or maybe a marriage of 2 or 3 casks. I don't know. Quite nice. Now I'm getting some hay. Some hay, some grass, some heather. Could that be heather? Citrus. Hmm. Ah, fruity, lemon, citrus. Nice. But I'm not detecting any peat. Usually when I get citrus, citrus usually goes hand in hand with peat. Like if I go for a Lafroig, for example, I'll get the peat, and if it's just been aged in bourbon barrels, I'm going to get lime right away. But here, I'm getting lemons, oranges, and grapefruit, and it's hanging on. I mean, did I take a sip of water, and after the sip of water, it's still hanging on? What is this juice? Yeah, let's see. Tom and Towel, 13-year-old, single malt Scotch whiskey, distilled in 2003 or 8? 2005. Cask type, sherry butt, 60% alcohol volume. Ah, I knew it was a belter. Okay. Sherry butt, 60%, cask number 11, region Speyside. Interesting. Very nice. So So I'm guessing that the sherry butt was a I could see that in the color, and I could taste it in the berries. Not a lot of chocolate here, but a lot of citrus, like I was saying. Tom and Towel, 13-year-old. Wow, interesting. And I've tried Tom and Towel before. I think I had a 12-year-old Tom and Towel, and it didn't do anything for me. Ah, still a lot of citrus, a bit of caramel too now. Oh wow, that's actually rather nice. There is no comparison to the Tom and Towel 12 that I had, which was bottled at what, 43%, and I wasn't too keen on it. But this is nice. This Tom and Towel also has a peated version, don't they? Well, let me see now. Was it? Uh, I'm trying to remember what the peated Tom and Towel was. Uh, was it Balakin? Or, yeah, Balakin, or I think it was Balakin. Not sure. Wasn't too keen on that either. But this, of the Tom and Towels that I have had, this is the best one I've ever tasted. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. And this is very nice. Of course, because of the high ABV, it needs water. And I think I brought it down to the low 50s. And in the low 50s, it's drinkable. Mm. Delicious. Delicious. Slanchava.
Foodquig.
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 Yeah.